Shaya Namo Namah. Greetings to everyone, world over, all our brothers and sisters across the globe, wherever you are. We extend you a very warm welcome. It's a wonderful Friday evening, and that is 10th of May 2024. And at sharp 9 p.m., we extend you a very warm welcome from India, all the way people, those are enjoying their early morning in Canada, United States, Latin America. It's a pleasure to have you all over there. Go ahead with your morning jog, morning walk, morning cup of coffee, tea, whatever you are busy with. Just be with us mentally, spiritually, and let's enjoy something together, the part of so called the global tourism. Now, people, those are in Central Asia, Middle East, and you all had, your wonderful evening tea, and thereafter you are with us. In India, it's early 9 p.m. People just enjoy our session, and thereafter you feel like having a cup of milk, and then you feel like going for some siesta and sleep, and you carry the memory of responsible tourism with you. People, those are in Europe, you enjoyed your wonderful, sumptuous lunch and you're preparing for your evening tea and a coffee. Keep enjoying your tea and coffee and be with us. And of course, a lot of friends from Africa also. We extend you a very warm welcome. People, those are in Southeast Asia, right in Myanmar, Cambodia, Laos, Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, Indonesia, Philippines, Brunei, wherever you are joining us from, it's indeed a great pleasure. And of course, it's 1.5 hour, 2 hours you are ahead of us. So don't feel sleepy and be with us for a short, crisp, something very interesting because the whole world is today talking about climate change. Everybody is talking about global warming. Everybody is talking about carbon neutral. And at the same time, if we want to go green, we want to see greenery all around. Let's move today to a beautiful state and to wonderful, hospitable people, God's own country, responsible tourism with Dr. Sarup Roy, BR, Assistant Professor and Coordinator, Center for Responsible Tourism at Kerala Institute of Tourism and Travel Studies. The short name is KITS. And ladies and gentlemen, let me share with you a wonderful secret. Right from 1988 onward, I have been deeply associated with the upcoming of this particular institution. And what a beautiful state, and what a hospitable people, and what a wonderful institution, making the professionals of tomorrow. With these words, join me in extending a very warm welcome this evening from India all the way to everybody. And we extend a warm welcome to Dr. Surup Roy, BR, who is joining us from Kerala. Namaskaram. Pleasure to have you with us. It's indeed a great, great pleasure. Thank you for sparing your time. And, ladies and gentlemen, I must make a mention. Dr. Swaroop Roy, PRG, had been deeply associated with responsible tourism, what all should be done. He has also been associated with the policy framework of the Kerala Tourism Policy 2012, 2017, and of course the 17 policies now which is carrying on. And today he's going to give us a lot of insight. I cannot hold my temptation anymore, and let me dive in and let me go to Tiruvantanapuram and let me go to beautiful state Kerala, where from Dr. Surup Roy BR is going to join us. Hearty welcome, Dr. Saab. Pleasure to have you with us.
Sir, thank you. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to talk at the India Tourism at 2004-7 session. So basically, I will be starting with the Responsible Tourism Initiative. A small introduction about me. Actually, I did my degree on electronics and communication, which has nothing to do with tourism. But later after that, I did my master's degree in tourism administration. Then recently, I got my PhD. Uh, long years of long years I have been into tourism from 2000 onwards to 2024. my first experience was with the Tenmala Ecotourism project, which is supposed to be called as the first planned ecotourism model for India. From there, I moved to Equations, which is a NGO looking at the tourism policies across the country. So I was the coordinator of Equations Kerala for around 8 years, 8 to 10 years. Then I moved to the academic field, mm, and finally had kids from 2011 onwards. So thank you for
Okay,
seeing.
how's our kids? How's our Kerala Institute of Tourism and
Yeah,
Travel? How's it?
yeah. See, when I joined KITS, it was offering only one course, basically the master's degree, MBA degree in travel and tourism, affiliated to the University of Kerala. But after that, in the what happened was that we had started degree courses, basically the BPA tourism management course as well as the BCom travel and tourism course. Uh,
Wow,
we are also affiliated to University of Kerala. Then we have many other diploma courses like airport operations, logistics management, some courses in adventure tourism, postgraduate diploma in public relations and tourism,
great. So
tourism
it's
and
a
hospitality.
combination. It's a combination of short term, long term,
Short term,
bachelors
long
and
term.
masters.
Uh,
Okay, great.
then we have training programs. In addition to that, for the officials, for the different stakeholders of the tourism industry. So it's like
Wonderful.
in
Wonderful. Congratulations. I'm so very happy baby is growing. That's great. That's great.
from
let's
35
uh,
years now.
let's dive into responsible tourism. What exactly you would like to share with us? Because everybody is talking nowadays sustainable tourism, responsible tourism, green tourism, and you know what all can be done. And here comes India Tourism 2047 series, Responsible Tourism, a Kerala model by Dr. Sarup Roy, BRG. Wow, head of the department, Commerce and Coordinator, Center for Responsible Tourism, Kerala Institute of Tourism and Travel Studies. Please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. So responsible tourism, when we talk about that, there's a question. Why responsible tourism? This has been a concept, I think, probably which developed towards the end of last century. See, it got popular in 2002 with the Cape Town Declaration. So why responsible tourism? Because there are many negative impacts that has happened across the across the world because of tourism. We have seen degeneration of cultural heritage and social inequalities due to tourism, leakage of economic benefits to outside region, increasing environmental impact, inadequate local benefits, unregulated development. So all this became factor for thinking about something called responsible tourism. See, there when you talk about the definitional part, still I don't know what exactly you need to define. There is there is a saying that responsible tourism is to make destinations better places for people to live in and better places for people to visit. So that is generally what is said about responsible tourism. But what I see is quite different. See, we have something called sustainable tourism because I think these terminologies are being used by different people in different ways. So what I see is that sustainable tourism is an ideal situation where everything is perfect. Uh, but I would see responsible tourism and ecotourism are different models or approaches by which you try to reach the sustainable tourism. So these are two different approaches you take to or towards sustainable tourism. That is what I believe in. So responsible tourism is aimed to maximize economic, social, and environmental benefits while minimizing cost to destinations. It goes beyond nature-based tourism because when we had the concept of ecotourism, finally what have the although the definitions of ecotourism or the basic components of ecotourism are much wider, but what happened was that this got limited to a nature-based tourism. Ecotourism, when somebody says ecotourism, it is being confined to wildlife sanctuaries, national parks, etc., and that has not been the original definition or the way it should have been done. And so that is the reason I think that responsible tourism should be moving moving to different other environments rather than the nature-based places also. So, and another factor which we are concentrating is that there should be some evidence that is tangible and measurable, so that some benefits are getting to the local people, which could be quantified. That is second thing. Then demands that all stakeholders in the tourism ecosystem act in a very responsible manner. So we know that some of the stakeholders are not responsible, some of the state governments are not responsible, some of the industry people are not responsible. So we want all the stakeholders in tourism to act in a responsible manner. So that is what I need to talk about responsible tourism. I don't want to go much beyond on the theoretical framework. So I am moving to the responsible tourism initiative in Kerala, which started in 2007, where we see Better Together. Better Together, what we expect is that all the stakeholders of tourism come together and stay together when you implement the responsible tourism initiative. So in the slide, you can see that it started with a brainstorming workshop in 2007. That was a 2-day workshop. I would say that was a historic workshop. Why I say historic? Because that was the first time Kerala tourism was willing to say or willing to admit that there are negative impacts of tourism. Otherwise, what they used to say is that there are some NGOs who are focusing on Kerala and saying that they are they are irresponsible. See, even in 2006, I think Kerala was shortlisted as the best sustainable tourism destination in the world by WTTC. And Mandeep Singh Soin, who was one of the judges who came to Kerala, and after his visit, he said that Kerala will back the award. The other two places which was shortlisted was, I think, Mexico and Cuba. But what I felt at that point of time when I was working with equations, that Kerala is not that sustainable to make as the best model for the world. So I wrote a letter to Kostas Christ, who was the chairman of of the award committee of WTTC, highlighting the unsustainable areas which Kerala used to promote during for tourism. So, and finally, Kerala lost the award, and I became the notorious person among the tourism officials and other industry people. But still, I believe that what I did was right, and that also I feel that was one of the causes that the Kerala state started thinking about responsible tourism. So why I said this is a historic event because of all these things. Where see only when somebody admits that there are mistakes, then you can correct it. So that is the reason I say it is historic. So 203 people attended that particular workshop, and that workshop led to the implementation of responsible tourism initiatives. So basically, three pillars of responsible tourism: economic responsibility, social-cultural responsibility, and environmental responsibility. So we were focusing on these three pillars of tourism. And finally, at the end of the workshop, what happened was that we formed an institutional mechanism. The state level responsible tourism committee was formed, and it was decided that this committee would look forward to see how responsible tourism is implemented in the state. Out of the 203 people, we had people from the tourism department, other government departments, the tourism industry, the media, the academicians, so the politicians. So it was a very good crowd, and from there we selected this responsible tourism committee. And one thing about the workshop was that see, for the 1.5 days, we were actually deliberating on the different negative impacts of tourism that was happening in Kerala and what are the solutions that could be possible. So that was the history of starting responsible tourism in the state. So once it was decided, the committee was formed, it was decided that we will first implement responsible tourism in 4 pilot destinations of Kumaragam, Kovalam, Thekade, and Vaitri. So Kumaragam is in Kottayam district, Kovalam is in Tirunelveli, Thekade is in Idukki district, and Vaitri is in Wayanad district of Kerala. So Kumaragam is in the central part, Kovalam at the southernmost part, Thekade is also in the central area, or Vaitri is at the northern part of Kerala. So the main focus of the responsible tourism initiative in Kerala was that we decided that the initial focus should be on economic responsibility so that the community is benefited, or we could quantify easily what benefit the community would receive. Destination level initiatives led by local self governments that were made. So we wanted that the local self government become a key partner of the responsible tourism initiative. Uh, Initially, the implementation was routed through a private agency, but that support was withdrawn from 2010. KITS became the implementing agency for responsible tourism in the state in 2011. In 2012, from 4 destinations, we added to another 3 destinations, Kumblangi, Ambalavel, and Bekal. From economic responsibility, trust extended to environment and social responsibility. So that is the way it generally progressed. From 2011 to 2017, KITS was the implementing agency for responsible tourism in the state. Then after that, RT Mission, Responsible Tourism Mission, was formed under Department of Tourism, and it became a separate entity. And right now, the Responsible Tourism Initiative in the state is being implemented by the RT Mission. So my presentation will focus only during the period of 2011 to 2017. I will just go through that particular period, and I can share you what exactly happened after that, but my focus will be on that particular period. Out of the 4 destinations, Kumaragam became the most successful model of the responsible tourism. You can see in the map, Kumaragam is in the central part of Kerala, is surrounded by backwaters. This is the Vembrand Lake. So let us see what happened in Kumaragam. So around 25 years back, you see that you have the backwaters on one side, the coconut trees, the paddy fields. You have many birds coming over there. You have an unofficially declared bird sanctuary over there. You have vegetable cultivation. So very rich 25 years back. Current scenario on the tourism side, a world-renowned backwater destination. I think in 2004 or 2005, the Prime Minister of India, Sri Vajpayee, visited this place, and that leveraged Kumaragam as a prominent tourism destination in the state. Around 35,000 international visitors, 20 world-class resorts, 25 homestays, more than 100 houseboats plying in the backwaters. Around 1,000 classified or approved rooms. Population of the Kumaragam Panchayat is around 25,000, which is you have 6,000 households over there. So that was the situation when we started the responsible tourism initiative. So 16 years back, I'm going back. Very low benefits from tourism to local community. So when I first visited Kumaragam in 2003, I had a discussion with the president of the local self-government, and the president was telling me, see, we don't want tourism now, because every day we are having conflict between the local community as well as the tourism industry. So it's difficult to go forward. That was the comment made by the local self-government president at that point of time. Negative social, cultural, and environmental impacts, local tourism industry and local community conflicts, local panchayat totally sidelined in tourism development. So we never had a bottom to top approach. It was always top to bottom approach. Some people sitting in Tirunelveli, in headquarters, they decide what kind of tourism that need to be given in, that need to be done in Kumaragam. These are all strong indicators of unsustainable destination. Kerala government announced responsible tourism in the state. Kumaragam was selected as one of the pilot destinations. The pilot phase started with focus on economic responsibility. So when we talk about the economic responsibility, we first start thinking about local procurement. So KITS was involved in the study on that, how to link local people to tourism business, identified the vulnerable and poor sections of the destination. A survey was made to assess the hotel needs on vegetables and fruits. So every day the hotel requires vegetables and fruits, and a survey was made to understand what quantity of vegetables and fruits are being developed in Kumaragam. what we found was only very little was happening over there. 18 hotels agreed to take vegetables and fruits from the local farmers. So that was based on the discussions with the top management of the hotels over there. So what we did was we prepared an agriculture calendar. Why agriculture calendar? Because the hotels need the vegetables or fruits or any other item on a continuous basis. So every day they need it. So you need to develop fruits and vegetables uh, on a daily basis. So that is the reason we prepared the agriculture calendar in association with the agriculture college and other universities over there. So the production was over. Then we started facing the issues. Hotels, the 18 hotels which agreed to purchase items from the local farmers, they did not take the producers after it was prepared. They said, what you have prepared is of low quality, it's of high price. We are not sure whether you can regularly supply these items. Right now, we are making a centralized purchase. We are cutting it and giving it to you. We are not confident. So that was the comment from most of the hotel people over there, and the enthusiasm we had that suddenly dropped off. So we had discussions under the leadership of the local self-government. So as a solution, what we did was we formed a praise committee and quality assurance committee. The praise committee and the quality assurance committee were led by the local self-government president. So it had members of the hotel industry. It had members of agriculture, members of the agriculture department, of the tourism industry. So they all sit together and they assess the price, they assess the quality of the product, and for 1 month the price is fixed. So this would continue. So what we did was we formed something called a Samriddhi Supply Group. So this basically a collection group. See, you have different farmers, and it is difficult for every farmer to go to a hotel and sell all his items. So this collection group, they would go to different farmers, they collect it, they supply to the hotel. And some of the items which are not sold, that will be sold through a open shop. So that was the structure of operation. So this is the shop that was placed in Kumaragam where they used to collect and put all the vegetables and fruits, and this is the place from where you sell to the open market also. Still, there were broad issues, negative attitudes of the hotels and local procurement. See, I said we talked to the top management and convinced them, and they were ready to purchase the items from the local farmers. But we know that there is a problem. The system that was there was actually a centralized purchase system. When you make a centralized purchase system, there is an element of commission that is going to the purchase manager that even travels down even to the cook. So uh, we convinced the general manager, we convinced the CEO, then we started talking to the purchase manager. The purchase manager agrees to purchase. But what happened was that even after the purchase manager agrees to purchase the items and they started purchasing, the chef says that the quality is low because the commission, a part of the commission triggered down to the chef also. That is the system which we see. Then lack of interest of the production groups. See, production group is the farmers. See, they had a bitter experience of they invested money, they produced the item. When given to the hotel, they were not ready to buy. So that was the experience. So that became the lack of interest of the production groups, lack of land availability for cultivation. See, Kumaragam, as I said, 25 years back, is a place where you had a lot of cultivation. But when tourism industry started coming in, and because of the political situation in Kerala, the wages were low to the farmers. So they thought it is better to sell the properties to resort people so that the cultivation land will become resorts. And so they didn't want to cultivate it. So they were keeping it idle for long years. So that is the reason you don't have land availability over there. Lack of rapport between the hotels and the collection groups, that was an issue because these were local people, they did local people, and they didn't have the ability to properly communicate with the hotel owners or so. So when money started coming in for the Samriddhi group, who were the supply group, then internal disputes started developing. Then they also faced the difficulty of funds to operate. So these are the issues, broader issues that developed with the starting of responsible tourism initiative in Kumarakom. So what we did was collective as well as one-to-one meetings with various stakeholders. We did. We started talking. Even the see one thing which was very critical was that it was the local panchayat president or the local self-government president who was uh, running around and speaking to people, going to their houses, convincing them. So that was the model which we developed there. More production groups were identified. So the farmers who were reluctant, they were convinced. So they were asked to do the cultivation. In many of the houses, they started cultivation. So in a house, we know that probably a half a kg of lady's finger would come, would be developed in a day. So that would be procured by the Samriddhi group, and that would be taken to the hotel. So they collect from different houses so that you will have some 5 to 10 kilogram of lady's finger or any other vegetables. So that was the model. We had discussions with the farmers groups over there. So that also helped in developing more people to or convincing more people to come back to cultivation. Cultivation land were taken for lease. Good quality seeds we got it from the agriculture department for the production. Loans were arranged to the Samriddhi group for in order to run the business. So these kind of interventions is what the responsible tourism team were doing. So this outcome till 2017, around 650 self-help groups members started vegetable cultivation. 10 farmers groups with 450 farmers joined the Responsible Tourism Initiative. 450 homestead farmers started vegetable cultivation. So 450 homes, they started cultivation. Fish farming was started in 10 ponds, 32 micro enterprises formed, 15 hotels and resorts were linked, and benefits to around 1,200 local community members. And the total economic benefit to community through local sourcing is more than 4 crores. So that is the outcome that has happened from 2007 to 2007. So this was the
Wonderful.
beginning.
Wonderful. Wonderful case study. Wonderful.
Again, we move to the socio-cultural responsibility part. Looking at the art and culture. So when we went to Kumaragam, we know that some of the traditional cultural forms are there, but we couldn't find a single group who were performing it. So what we did was we gave training to people over there, and we developed cultural groups. One is Tiruvadra, that is one of the what you see in the photograph is Tiruvadra, and another one art form like Kolkali that was also developed. And what happened is that these ladies which you see over there, they are actually doing other kind of traditional job in the daytime. In the evening time, what we did was that with the formation of the group, they go and perform in the hotel. So additional income started coming to these women who are performing. Another one, we formed a children's group where we taught them Shingari Melam. And these children used to perform this Shingari Melam, which is a kind of orchestra. And what we understand that, for each program, they charge around 25,000 per day. And when the festive season starts from January to March, every day they have performances. So you can think about how much these particular children might have earned. And these groups are linked to hotel for performance. See, this is another interesting product which we developed, which is the village life experience package. See, this is normal for anybody who is from Kerala or from the Indian states. See, uh, you have the photographs of fishing using bow and arrow. You have jodi capping. You have coconut climbing. You have fire making. You have journey through the backwaters, etc. See, this kind of these are all most of them are traditional jobs. And even before the responsible tourism came, many tour operators they have been showing this rural tourism products to the tourists. But the difference with this village life experience package is quite different. See, we charge, as an example, we charge 1,000 rupees from the tourist for this particular package. Out of this thousand rupees, it goes. This money is split and given to different people. You give 200 or 250 rupees to the person who is doing the fishing, another 250 to the person who is story tapping, then the lady Leta who is doing the choir making. So in that way, the whole money is distributed back to the local community. That is the model which we developed over there. So the local community is very much benefited out of this particular product. We had a confusion at the beginning whether these people will be able to communicate with the foreign tourists and all. But what we saw was that these people within a week or within a month they started expressing through the actions in the initial stage, but after that they started communicating. And
Wow.
what
Great. Great.
and another interesting thing is that we had taken people, local community people from this particular area and trained them, the girls and youth, and we trained them as village life experience package escorts. So they will accompany them, and they used to get around 400, 500 rupees for every package. So that was the model. And again, one more thing which we did was that these people, we gave it on a rotation basis. If it is Leda or making Kair on a day, it will be Leela on the another day. So they will be, the tourists will be going to different houses and they will see that. So that is the model which we did at Kumaragan. So that is the village life experience model. Uh, this is another interesting thing, Samarthi Ethnic Food Restaurant. So in Kumaragam, we had very big resorts over there. And they used to charge very heavily on the tourists. So moderate people who are coming over to Kumaragam, they did not find a good place to have food. So at that point of time, what we did was we selected 10 ladies, uh, and they were asked. Uh, they know how to cook. They are housemates and they know how to do the cooking. What we did was we gave some training on service, housekeeping, how to keep the accounts, etc. And that is what we did. And there was a building which was abandoned by the Kerala Tourism Development Corporation, which we rectified and gave it to these people to run the restaurant over there. So what happened and what we see is that the revenue which came out is that it is it's more than a crore, and they had profit of around 11 lakhs after some 5 or 6 years. See, one thing which we need to understand: these ladies they invested, they had taken loan of around 2 lakhs, 2 lakhs from the bank, and they each of the members they put 10,000 rupees each, and with 3 lakh rupees they started the business. Quite interesting was that these ladies they never took back the money. They were taking some 200 rupees or 300 rupees as wages every day, and after paying back all the loans, then only they took back the money. Otherwise, they were putting the money back for the business and they were trying to develop it. So it is another wonderful model, I would say, the ethnic food restaurant. These ladies who hardly moved out of the Kumaragam village, they started traveling even to Delhi for participating in fairs and making ethnic food over there. So you need to understand that 80% of the items which was produced were sourced, the raw materials were sourced from Kumaragam itself. That is another wonderful model. So that there is very little leakage that was happening in the destination. Then we gave so many capacity building and skill development programs: souvenir making, organic farming, puppet making, candle making, glass painting. So many. This person, his name is Murali. He's having a houseboat model with him. That is a souvenir which he has developed. So, as part of the exercise which kids was doing, we did a skill mapping exercise in Kumaragam. So we went to all the houses and we tried to find out what skill each people in the household have. So this particular person, he was working as an electrician at that point of time, and we understood that he had some skills in wood carving. So what we did was we gave training to him, and he started producing this. And in 2013 or 14, he was telling me that every month he earns around 1.5 lakhs by selling this particular product. The hotels, some of the big hotels over there, they make bulk purchases so that these are given as souvenirs to tourists who come over to the resorts. So that is one thing. Then went to organic farming, puppet making. Puppet making was that is that is one thing where we found so much difficulty in getting a trainer. Then we moved to candle making, glass painting, paper pack, naturalist. Naturalist training which we gave because we had an unofficial bird sanctuary over there. So many people were coming to see the birds. So we had given training for that. VLA sports, food safety, lifeguard. Lifeguard we gave training because this particular area is surrounded by water. So if any accidents happen, it is the youth over there who jump into the water and rescue the people. So what we thought, they should be given training so that if anything bad happens, those people will be uh, trained. So many other value-added products. So 646 people were trained from the village for such kind of things. So these are some of the training programs which we gave the puppet making value-added products from tender coconut. Moving on to the environmental responsibility, we made so many awareness campaigns on waste treatment and disposal, trained women groups on vermicompost, awareness program to employees and owners of houseboats. This because many of the employees who are working in the houseboat, they throw the plastic into the backwaters. So that is the reason we made the awareness program. Periodic cleaning of the bird sanctuary, collection mechanisms of waste introduced in pet sanctuary, because many of the tourists who go to the sanctuary, they put the waste over there. So we made a collection system by connecting the vendor, the people who the rack pickers were made the collection agents over there. Another thing which we did was mangrove regeneration program in Kuvaragam. See, this is quite important. See, when tourism started coming to Kumaragam, what we had seen was that many resorts, they cut down the mangroves over there. They cut down because many of the resorts, they want their tourists to have a good view of the backwaters sitting in their rooms. So mangroves were actually restricting their vision. So that is the reason they used to cut down. So we made a campaign. 1,600 mangrove plants were replanted in this particular area. What the importance is that it's a joint effort by the community and the resort group. So they also started getting the awareness on that. So reconversion of fallow land in agricultural land, 55 acres of fallow land brought back to paddy cultivation, 30 acres of fallow land brought back to vegetable cultivation, brought back another 83 acres of cultivable land which was kept idle. So 168 acres of land brought back to cultivation because of this responsible tourism initiative. Addressing issues related to unused ponds. So unused ponds, many people used to do the waste disposal in this unused ponds. Stagnant water resulted in many diseases. So one-to-one discussion with the owners of the pond to start fish farming and lotus cultivation. So 20 farmers started fish farming, 4 farmers started lotus cultivation. So lotus, every day they supply to the resorts. And the fish, of course, to the ethnic food restaurant and other resorts. So now I quickly run through the other destinations, the economic responsibility. So Wayanad supply to 14 hotels and resorts, formed 52 local enterprises benefiting 569 families. Total revenue generated 1 crore 22 lakhs. Trained 122 local community members, village life experience packages. So this is the mural drawing in saris and mask, which you see in Fine Art, their product. Going to Tekadi, you have 20 hotels and resorts, 23 local enterprises, 302 families, 5 crore 93 lakhs. The revenue is quite higher because we had spice units over there. Spices are costly, and that is the reason why the amount has gone up. 253 people trained. So these are the different responsible tourism units. You have the candle making units, the paper bag units, honey making units, etc. Moving on to Kovalam, only 15 local enterprises, 283 families, 79 lakhs uh, generated, 45 local community members. It's not, I won't say that was much of a successful model. Uh, the paper jewelry, Bekal is another destination where you find many, Kumbalangi. So these are the different destinations. When you go to art and culture, we formed many cultural groups in Wayanad. See, another interesting going to art and culture, Bekal, village life experience at Kovalam. So you go to Wayanad, where you see the first one is a traditional house. I think some of you from India, you might have heard about Cheruvail Raman, who recently got the Padma Shri Award. He is a farmer. He has got 48 varieties of rice, and he's preserving that rice. So visiting this his house and the traditional agricultural field was one of the place where you go as the package. This is Mr. Govindan, who is trying to doing the bow and arrow, Then you have the pottery, etc. Going to take it the
What I heard carefully, is it 48 varieties of rice?
Yeah, 48 varieties of rice. He has got the seeds and he is preserving it.
Wow. Wow. Remarkable. Amazing. Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
What is that? He will give a rice to, if I go and ask him, he will give you rice, but he will ask you to write an agreement saying that I will give you the rice, but next year you will have to produce and give me back the seed.
That's lovely. Responsible tourism. Okay.
So this second one is homemade chocolate, puppet making, capacity building at Wayanad, almost similar. Capacity building at Tekadi, Kumpalangi. Environmental responsibilities from paper bags.
Okay.
Tote bags. So generally, at a glance since 2011 to 2017, what you see is that around 12 crore of business has happened in the local community. 1,570 families were benefited. 1,206 community members were trained. 665 village life experience packages were sold. 2,150 tourists enjoyed the village life experience package. So that is responsible tourism at Kumaragam at a glance. At Kerala in a glance. Now I am going to the industry participation responsible tourism. So there, what we had done was the RT classification scheme for accommodations. See, we had developed a classification criteria, basically depending on the global sustainable tourism criteria. So we had made a model, which is we were taking see, the base model was from global sustainable tourism criteria, but we were fine tuning it according to the Kerala situation. So it had 4 components: sustainable management criteria, socio-cultural responsibility criteria, economic responsibility criteria, as well as the environmental responsibility criteria. And you see that the total marks coming is around is 1,000, but out of the 200 marks for sustainable management criteria, you need to score 60. Minimum, you need to score 60. And socio-cultural responsibility, you need to minimum get a score of 75 out of 250. Likewise, 75 out of 250 for economic care responsibility, as well as 90 out of 300 for the environmental responsibility. So this criteria, I am not going to discuss much, elaborate on that. For every of the 4 components which we said here, we broke down into small pieces, and we were putting marks for each of the items. So the ranking was like, if somebody scores 750 to 1,000, you get platinum. award. Then 600 to 749 was gold and 500 to 599 silver. And when we wrote the Kerala tourism policy 2012, what we said was that if hotels get classified, 15% of the total investment subject to a maximum ceiling limit of 20 lakhs will be provided for investors classified under responsibilities. Again, department will provide industrial tariff on electricity charges for the first 5 years for establishments which are classified under responsible tourism. So that is the way how we are trying to link responsible tourism with the policy. Again, I think 2015, I think we revamped the classification criteria for the homestays in Kerala. There also what we did was, see, earlier when you look at the classification criteria, it was basically looking at the size of the rooms and what are the facilities over there. But when we modified it, we tried to bring in the responsible tourism criteria over there. So if a homestay is having a biogas plant, or if they are having uh, if they are using LED lights instead of the normal tube lights, then they are getting points. So we were trying to bring in such kind of elements into the criteria of homestays. After that, this is another interesting thing. The Agenda 9, the CSR charter brought on by the industry of Kerala. We have something called the Kerala Travel Mart Society. And they had come up with the CSR charter. You can look at the 9 points. They say they shall undertake solid and liquid waste management in their establishments and partner with the local body for the waste management initiatives of the destination. Shall plant trees within establishment and associate with growing trees at the destination. Shall reduce water usage and conserve water through rainwater harvesting and recycling. Shall promote organic agriculture and encourage using organic produce. Shall reduce energy use by using energy from renewable resources. Energy efficient lights and equipment. Shall reduce use of plastics. Shall do local procurement wherever possible and encourage local produce. Shall create livelihood opportunities for the local community. Shall promote local arts, crafts, and cuisine. So this is an initiative that directly came from the industry, which we think because of the model which we developed in Kerala on responsible tourism. And summary, I would say that quality of a destination has to be defined by the quality of life of the local population. So what we were trying to do is, because by bringing revenue to the local community, we are trying to build the quality of the people over there. Quality of the life community can be improved to tourism by using principles of responsible tourism. And what we suggest is that let us create more responsible tourism destinations in the world. Consider Kerala as simple examples. And we got many awards during that period. And most interesting was that the UNWTO Ulysses Award, which we received in 2013. So I think that is one of the ultimate awards probably India might have received, and that for the Kumaragam on the responsible tourism initiative. So what happened after 2017? We formed the RT mission. So from the 7 destinations which I said we started with 4, we added 3. Now what we have done, we expanded to the whole state of Kerala, the model, and that is being implemented now. So what we are trying to do is, through the policies, through this initiative, we are trying to make Kerala a sustainable destination. So that's all I want to say about the initiative. Thank you.
Lovely, lovely, wonderful, wonderful. Such a pleasure, Dr. Surup Roy, BRG. Scintillating, scintillating. And you gave such a wonderful scenario, the hard work, the dedication, the devotion, and besides that, the policy framework and implementation and taking the tourists and locals together. That's something is splendid. We can close the presentation if you feel appropriate. It's really a pleasure. And if you would like to share something, your email or something with the public, you can. Choice is all yours. You can. And I would like to compliment you. Such a wonderful hard work and so much of efforts being put in. And if I correctly understood, initially 4 districts were taken, and then 4 destinations, and along with them 3 more destinations then included. and total 7. And thereafter, now it's being taken to the entire state. And that is the way the whole thing has been built up. And I'm very happy that kids were also involved and you people were there in that. Now, something related to policy, anything specific you would like to talk about? Because you have been deeply associated in 2012 also, 2017 also. Anything which comes to your mind where you feel that this is something, a milestone. Of course, this is on responsible tourism. The 7 destination which you have given is already a landmark in itself. But still, if you wish to share anything out of those 2 policies and the latest policy of 2017, which is in practice at this point of time, anything which comes to your mind.
Uh, See, for both the policies, since we started the initiative in 2007, so both the policies now responsible tourism has become an umbrella. So whatever you say in the policy, that is responsible. So that was the position which we took. So everything, anything you write on the policy that had this umbrella, and that is the crux of the policy. We were even looking at the products when we are looking at the products, we never in the policy said about big infrastructure policy infrastructure that is being developed. We were talking about a responsible uh, models where the communities are benefiting. And when you go to the when you go to the educational part or the training part, we were focusing on the community training rather than on the students or something. But we were focusing on the community training and developing them. So uh, everywhere it's like that. So everywhere the benefit goes to the community. It should be like any tourism activities that needs to be implemented in consultation with the local community, any benefit going to them. So that was the
Great.
crux
So
of
whatsoever is being done, it should be done with the consent of the community, benefit of the community, and the locals and everybody to get
yeah.
a benefit of it.
Another interesting thing, we had a conference happening which happened in 2008 in Kochi, where we came up with the Kerala Declaration of Responsible Tourism. So in that Kerala Declaration, one particular thing which came out that the community has the right to say no to tourism. If the community feels there should not be tourism, then that should be accepted.
Wow. Wow. Because after all, it's their place, it's their culture, it's their cuisine. Yes, yes, yes. Absolutely. Unless they are not happy, how can they make somebody else happy? That is something very important. So we are so grateful to you. And what message would you like to give to the youth, particularly our country, those are taking travel and tourism education at this point of time, or those are getting skilled basically for tourism, hospitality, aviation, or related industries, and anything you would like to share towards the academia corporate interface, because we are moving towards India Tourism 2047. How do you look at the scenario? How do you look at the whole outcome? And how do we prepare ourselves for that? Of course, responsible tourism is there. Yes.
Definitely, definitely. See, one thing which I need to add is that even the new policy that is come from the Ministry of Tourism, that is also focusing on the sustainable tourism part. So every youth, they should be more responsible. They should be thinking about the future. They should be running a tourism project which is sustainable, which lasts for the next generation to enjoy. So that is the message I would give. So any tourism, see many places we have see in certain places we have seen that seen many infrastructure models like the ropeways and which are very heavy infrastructures. Why should we have such kind of models? That is something which the new generation need to think about. That is what I feel.
Okay. We wish all the best to you and to our kids, our Kerala Institute of Tourism and Travel Studies. Keep doing good job. You're already doing. Let it be a pointer in the right direction further. And all of us, we build up such a beautiful system that by 2047, Indian economy, it should get prospered and economic multiplier through tourism. And every youth, every citizen, like you made a mention something very interesting, that in the community, their consent to be taken, what kind of a tourist, how many tourists, whether you want tourists or you don't want tourists, and that should be respected. So, ladies and gentlemen, with Dr. Swaroop Roy, PRG, this evening, right from Tiruvantanapuram, all of us through the kids, we take on responsible tourism, move towards this particular segment of tourism with total responsibility, and let's have something nice. India Tourism 2047, when we celebrate 100 years, India should lead the world, and everybody should say that, wow, in case if you want to have something in tourism, let's pick up the case study of India. And in India, let's have the case study of Kerala. Wow. Namaskar. Thank you. Thank you for coming today. It was such a pleasure to have you. So, ladies and gentlemen, signing off now for today. And we meet tomorrow evening at 9 p.m. with yet another something very interesting which is coming up with responsible tourism. Education plays very important role. Tomorrow, the lady is going to talk about if you want to become a vocational teacher, then how to become a vocational teacher for wellness tourism with great